Hey everyone, and welcome back to Farming Simulator and welcome back to the Highlands. This is the attempt to speedrun the castle build. We are at the back side of our farm. You can see our property over there. And around us is all of the huge timberland that we have on the property, and you can see there has been a lot of logging going on. I have been using our hide excavator to go around and cut down everything where the head supports it, and basically what's left at this end of the field. So all of this area here is the trees that this excavator unfortunately doesn't have support for. And I was just finishing off one last tree here, so I thought I'd show you that in action. Get that beautiful head. You can see it's a matter of just getting it up and down, left and right. And so some of these trees support being cut and other ones don't. The trees are being used to feed our sawmill, and my understanding is that the castle basically will need a huge amount of material, and so having all this cut down means that we can keep on feeding it and giving it what it wants. And talk about giving it what it wants, today we are going to be getting out a gigantic loam and hopefully getting stone along the way. And as you can see, if I get close to some trees like this one, it will have it will say you are not the right one. Actually, this one might work if I go up a little bit. There we go. Yeah, a lot of them don't allow you to cut them down for various reasons, and don't do that against the tree. That's ironic because I've been doing this so well up until that point. Yeah, so I want to make sure that the castle is being fed what it needs, and particularly that comes in the form of stones. So you can see the red ring for a lot of this stuff. So yeah, good progress. We've got a lot up here, and we should be able to keep the sawmill handy or running for a while. Between episodes, I also finished off just collecting the hay out there in the field and delivering it over, also I should say the straw, over to our new cow area. And they are fully bedded in. You can see that right here. You can see the stuff on the ground, and I have a little bit left over in the forage wagon in case we need to prop it up or fill it up. And also we've delivered all that hay to feed these guys, and I'm just going to use hay going forward. I did make a mistake last episode when we put this down. I put down the variant that was a silage bunker, so I sold that and put this back. And actually, I think I lost $10,000 in the process. Over here by our house, I've prepared the tractor with the seeder, and we'll get that going any second. What I did was I finally installed the cellular antenna. So this is a mod that's kind of like government subsidies. It gives you only a couple $100 per month, but for a $10,000 cost. And so yeah, that'll give us a nice little trickle. So that's pretty good. So let's grab this guy and we'll start them doing the field. My plan is to use what we have for this season, and we'll just do it slowly, and then we'll keep ourselves busy doing other stuff. So let's get that all filled up. Is it even going to be one pallet? It is not. And we'll get a worker to start doing this. I do have a weight on the front, but it is still a little bit back heavy. The goal for today is actually going to be to extend this field. So last episode we sold the cow pasture that was here on our left hand side, moved the cows over to that new formal place, and yeah, we'll jump to that in a sec. And I'm going to press go on the worker and let them do whatever they want. I don't know whether this guy's going to have the horsepower or if the AI is going to be happy, but we'll see how that goes. Yeah, so I want to extend this field, and we can do that now. And we will need to turn field on, which is allow create fields, which is Y. And you know what? I think the width of this is okay. So I think we can handle that. So the plan is to go across here. What are you doing, GCB? And make this one big field. So I do expect there to be damage as we cross the field. We have damage turned on, we have lime turned on, ploughing turned on, lots of those things. So I want it to be a solid field so that the AI does its work. But also, I understand that our main farm entrance does kind of use a trail across there. So I am willing to sacrifice some crop through crop destruction, but that should be fine. And at best, I actually am a good citizen of the farm, and I actually do. I do actually just drive around. We'll see how it goes though. How far into the corner? You know, I'm going to give myself a bit of space down this end. I'm aware that I want to turn around and not deal with the cars, particularly with the AI. And so we'll go there, and then this way. I think we can go pretty close to the road. I think that's kind of a distance I'm happy with. Now we probably should do the same thing over on the grass right there on our right hand side as well. There's no real reason for that just to be boring like that. If we get rid of that tree that's there in front of us, we should be able to get a half decent crop. Might be a good place for maybe one of those more boring crops like carrots or something. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this expansion. It should give us a bit more money. The field in front of us made about $20,000 in wheat. So I'm guessing we're probably adding about 15 grand here. So not a huge amount, but it's definitely going to be more money than the cows are making, because risky the cows are only what you sell them for. And so, yeah, I think we can get more money off the land with them. The one thing I have noticed that I haven't been doing is focusing on the castle explicitly. My initial thought, you know, as we're at episode 7, was build up the farm, get it running as a farm enterprise to help fund other things. And I watched Daggerwin's series on this, and so I've kind of spoiled myself about what's required to do the castle, and the answer is to make stone. I was thinking, my mental approach was buy whatever's required rather than make it, but now my conclusion is we're actually probably better off making the stone, much like Daggerwin has. And so, yeah, I'm going to take that approach instead. Now, the thing that Daggerwin does, which I don't know is the most efficient, is he doesn't really use loans much. I can't see any reason financially that we can't afford to just use loans a lot more and just get product going. So particularly with the stone, you get water, which is pretty easy to do, and it also consumes hardly any water per day. And then you can set it to distribute, and that will get us to the castle stone, and then we can just use a trailer for the rest. So yeah, so my goal today, after I plow this field, is to do that. So let me crack on, and this shouldn't take me too long. There is some grass in the middle of the field there. It was in the forage wagon. I decided not to bother to turn it into silage, so as I go over that with the plow, I expect it just to evaporate, which will be fine. And then if that guy is busy or needs some help, like, you know, needs some more seed or something, I'll help them do that. But yeah, let me get this done, and then we can talk about the castle. That didn't take too long at all. Let's have fun getting rid of the grass. In theory, if I just go straight over it, yeah, it will get destroyed. And without much effort, the lovely Lizard 9MT, 9 meter wide plow, has done its job, and we now have a pretty big field. We don't have precision farming turned on, so there's no land to scan or anything. We're doing it old school, just shoving bags and bags of fertilizer and stuff on stuff. One of the great things about the plow is it gives you a weed-free year. Whoops, I didn't mean to start the worker. Yeah, it gives you a weed-free year, so it's actually easier just to plow the fields than it is to bother to come back and do herbiciding or weeding, and it doesn't cost you anything. All right, let's get over to where the water stuff is, and also actually the castle stuff that requires water, and we'll do this. One of the things I do want to do before I leave here is I do have a mod called the sewer mod, and it is it production? Where's that going to be under? Here, this one, the sewer shaft mod. And what this does is it lets you sell the water that is in the in there. So if we want to use this as milk, you just can drop it off. You don't get any money for it. And I think I'm going to place it, where do I want to place it? Somewhere that's kind of not a mistake. Like if I put it in here, I might use it by mistake. So I might put it maybe on this side. We'll put it right close to where that is. If it's going to be like that, let's do it way down this end. Where's a good spot? Where's a good spot? You know what? It was actually pretty good here. Let's put it right there. So if you want, you can go over that or get close to it and then clear out the water. So like if I can go over here, oops, if I go like this, and we look at F1, it should say that it is, maybe I have to be closer to it. Well, I've been playing with it for a little while and I can't get it to trigger, so let's ignore that. Normally, you can use that mod to just unload the water into it, but yeah, I'm not sure what the deal is. But yeah, we will need that ability because if it happens to be water in the tanker, we'll want to be able to empty it out so we can transfer milk instead. I was just stuttering there because it looks like our worker is doing something weird over there. We'll assume that they're doing the right job. If they're struggling in the end, what we can do is we can bother to hire a better drill. There is a new one that the Highlands expansion has that is amazingly good. So I don't have any real reservations about using the new one. And actually, we've got a bale there. I thought there was a bale down here when I was looking for bales. I just didn't see it. So what I'm going to do is come over here, fill this up with water, and then we'll start the stone side of the business by buying the stonemason and the quarry. It's going to cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I'm just going to take a loan out for it. Yeah, definitely the speed run side of this I've kind of ignored a little bit too much. I allowed myself to kind of just treat it like farming sim rather than a speed run. And what I really should be doing is maximizing the loan, maximizing productions, and we'll definitely be doing more and more of that as time goes on. I knew you were going to cut me off. And we'll go down here in the water. It's relatively shallow over here, I think. Oh, do not turn over like that. Yes, well, it's shallow enough. So we'll fill that up with water. Fill, and I think I can get out of here. Yeah. Oh, there we go, we can get that way. Nice. This thing's got a fair bit of horsepower, so it's not too hard to do that. So on the map, down, I believe, this way, basing my knowledge here on watching Daggerwin's videos, is the quarry, and yeah, we'll definitely do that. What's this one? The brother and kin. That's probably where you dump something like maybe onions and carrots and stuff. It seems to be a very vegetable type place. Yeah, over here we have there's some type of drop point right there for some type of material, and this one is for water. So here's our quarry. So I'm just going to jump straight in and we're going to try to buy this. It's $235,000. You do not have enough money. No, we do not. Let's get out the financial stuff, finances, and we're going to borrow enough for that. So it's going to be $235,000 for that, and I think the other one's like $300,000. So let's make it 500 and something thousand. I think we're going to end up with close to $1 million a loan, which is fine. The loan interest rate, I think, is about 1% or something, so it's not too much. I'm just going to go way past what we need, and then we can always pay it back. So yeah, let's get to $1 million. Done. $690,000 in the bank. So we were holding quite a debt. That money was spent on the cows, and we'll buy that. And we now own the Kinlag Quarry. If we look at the productions, you can see that it takes in water and it produces stone 360 a day, cycles per day. So it's going to use 360 per day and times 25, which means it's going to make 8,000 big stones per day. So a fair bit, but it does mean that 360 out of the 5,000 is going to last over a year. So this tank alone with 8,000 in it is going to be fine. So there's no reason to leave this tanker here because we just simply don't need to. We can come around rarely. So yeah, my goal is to just leave this by the cows and use it for milk reasons. And so that's that done. Let's activate that. And it is activated. And I am going to be kind of a bit boring here. I'm going to change the output mode to distributing because we're about to go do the next thing. So we won't really ever see pallets of stone turn up there. And down the road, we'll go to the stone quarry. Stone mason, I should say. I've got the feeling that to do this efficiently and make our $1 million back, my goal here is to make the castle, but my goal is also to be debt-free. Whether that's needed for a speedrun approach, I don't know. But basically, the speedrun is going to run at the castle's going to build at a finite speed, so it's not really that taxing. I mean, we could have just taken $1 million out, and we could have just bought the materials and delivered it, and that could have been it. All right, and then 350,000 for this, and so this guy. Well, normally you'd put the stones in one of these two, I assume this one, and then the new ones will spawn out of here. So I will want to have a forklift over here. So once we've got a couple, we'll lease another forklift. Let's look at the stonemason. We will turn that on. And yeah, so basically this will do stuff. It will turn it into, so it's done 1 litre, and so it's made 25 probably. Oh yeah, it's made 9 litres so far. And yeah, that will get to probably 1,000 each, and then those will come over here, and that will turn into castle. So it is roughly 80%. So this is going to be making 360 times that, which is 8,000 per day, which means we'll get about 5,000 or 6,000 castle stones per day. And then I do want to take these manually up to the castle. I don't want to spoil or not do some of this. And then the sawmill is the same. It's got lots of wood in it. That's why I did all that logging in the forest. We'll get this filled up. I think I'm going to have a pretty big push at some point just to fill this up. I am tempted to turn on some of these other ones because I do believe they run in parallel and just make money. So basically, actually, and what I'm going to actually activate that, and I'm going to change that one to selling. It just goes out on the market, and same with this one. Activate that and put out the market. So this one is using 24 times 400, so roughly 8,000, 9,000 per day. Same deal, 18,000, a bit more, 18,000. So let's say that's 30,000. And then another 9. So basically 40,000 per day needs to get delivered. So definitely next episode will be about that. We'll keep this going. And then with this one and this one, we'll sell it. We won't bother picking up off the ground. And these two, because they're destined to go to the castle, we will pick them up and do that. So lots of progress. I'm quite happy with that. And then with this whole leveraging things, I do want to do the same thing with the fish. I want to find somewhere to put the fish down, and we will deliver fish food to that in absolute bulk and sell that through distribution. And we'll also put a farm out. So we probably will get to the point where we have maybe $2 million of loan, and then we'll have to pay it all back. But the more money you have, the more money you can make. You just, in theory, should run away. Plus, I think we are doing things around our farm that are pretty efficient, like with the cows and stuff. It's pretty easy to keep them happy and making product. I particularly like the cow pasture thingy, the building, because you get You get this, obviously the milk, you get the manure, and you get the slurry out of it. Let's have a look over here, see how it's going. Yeah, so have we got anything more coming out? No, nothing more. So yeah, one of these red Manitous, I think we'll buy another one of them for the stones, or maybe just the cheaper electric one. But yeah, let's get back to the farm with this tank, and then we'll give that sewer grate another go, see if we can empty this out. Well, I've tried closing the gate and deleting it and everything, but it doesn't seem to work. So I have just placed another one down here in the middle on the left hand side. So maybe it's something to do with the proximity to some other things, but I can't work it out. Even this one doesn't want to work. So yeah, that sewer grate mod used to work, but unfortunately it doesn't anymore. So the only way to get water out of this tank is to actually reset it back to the shop, which kind of sucks, because I can't like unload it anywhere. But yeah, that's kind of disappointing. Not really where I wanted to be with that. That was a terrible angle. And but yeah, we will leave this right here, and at some point we will deal with that, empty it off, and get some milk into it. At the moment we don't have much milk anyway. We've only got 118 litres. Things haven't progressed that much. With the time is kind of small. Let's have a look at where the tractor is with the seeding. If we can find it, there we are. What are you doing over here? I think you are struggling with the weight of this. So let me, yeah, I think this guy might be a little bit heavy for this guy, and it doesn't really know how to deal with that. Yeah. So let's detach this thing. Alright, let's see if this guy is any better. A bit more horsepower may help them. And so we're going to drop that down. And off it goes. Yeah, that hopefully will be a bit better. So yeah, let's put a B on that, and or you know, let the AI worker do their job, and we'll end it there. Hopefully the seeding will go well. If it doesn't, next time we will hire something even better, and yeah, get all of our land done. It's going to be kind of boring, so we'll just do probably a big jump cut about that. And you have this field to do, the one over there, and our new combined field, which I am loving. Having this as a sea of wheat should be fantastic. And we yeah, we've got all that castle stuff done too. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to press like if you got this far. Press subscribe to see more episodes, and we'll see you next time as we try to get that castle built up there on the hill. Thanks for watching, everybody.